At this time, I will call this meeting to order. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Certainly, Chair. Commissioner Baker. Commissioner Garrettson. Here. Commissioner Granados.
Okay. Here.
Commissioner Kowalski.
Here.
Commissioner Leon.
Here.
Commissioner Mirabella.
Present.
Commissioner Palmieri Mudet.
Here.
Vice Chair Hudak.
Here.
And Chair Williams.
Here.
Chair, you have 9 commissioners present for this evening's agenda setting session.
Thank you. Would you please lead us in the prayer and salute to the flag?
Humbly we ask God to give the peace and the love of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with His will, and to grant the light of His Spirit on all who work for justice and peace. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Clerk, would you please read the Statement of Compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act?
The Chair wishes to announce that pursuant to the requirements of New Jersey statutes annotated, Title 10, Chapter 4, Section 10 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting of the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Union has been given by mailing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2022, along with periodic changes necessitated by circumstance, to the newspapers circulating within the County of Union who are designated to receive such notice, and by posting the annual meeting schedule for the year 2022 in the Administration Building, and further by filing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2022 with the Office of the County Clerk.
Thank you so much. We will approve the communications and meeting minutes during tonight's regular meeting. So we can now proceed with our business tonight. At this time, I will call upon Clerk Richapi, and may we all just congratulate her on a very well-run, non-deniable election.
Thank you, and congratulations to you, Madam Chair, and to Commissioners Hudak, Granados, and Kowalski. Unofficially. I have 6 resolutions tonight. All but one have to do with elections for the next year or 2. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I see no questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, Sheriff Pete Corvelli.
Chair, how are you, Commissioners?
Good, thank you.
The Sheriff's Office has 5 resolutions on the agenda. For your consideration, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, there are no questions. Thank
Madam
you so
Chair.
much. Oh, yes, Commissioner Baker.
Sheriff Corvelli, could you just, off the top of your head, give us an idea of how many detainees we have in our Union County Jail?
Adult or juvenile?
Adult.
Adult, today we have 402.
402.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess because I will ask the same thing about the contract regarding the resolution regarding Bergen County, but might as well say how many juveniles do we have?
22.
22. Okay. Thank you.
You got it.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Okay, I see no others. Thank you so much, Sheriff.
Thank you, Chair.
Next up, we have Deputy County Manager of Economic Development, Amy Wagner.
Good evening, Commissioners. The Department of Economic Development has 9 resolutions for your consideration, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I actually have 2 questions. Can you just, for the benefit of the public, can you just give us a little bit more information on numbers 5 and 6?
Absolutely. So number 5 is for job training required for TANF clients. Unfortunately, there's been a moratorium on requirements to participate in those programs. We've had some trouble spending those dollars because if people aren't required to do the training, then they won't. But we're hopeful that that will be lifted and that they will be having to do more of those training programs to get them ready for, lots of opportunities that are available. And number 6, oh, I love this program. It's the Simon Youth Academy. It's an alternative high school where students that were former school dropouts go to school. They earn a diploma, not a GED. It's actually housed in the mall. There are currently 17 students enrolled in the program, and over the last 5 years, they've had 48 graduates. It's been it's really an exciting time to go to their graduations and hear their stories. Many have really heartbreaking stories, but they've turned their lives around, and they have work experience in the mall while they're there. So it's a really unique learning environment, but it really works for certain types of learners. So it's a great program. Thanks for asking about that.
Certainly. Okay. I look to my left and to my right, and I see no other questions, so thank you so much,
Thank you.
Director. Next up, Joe Graziano, Department of Engineering, Public Works and Facilities Management.
Good evening, Chair. Good evening, Commissioners. I have 11 resolutions on for your consideration, and I'll try and answer any questions you have.
Let's see. I see, Commissioner Kowalski.
Yes, thank you. Director Graziano, can you tell us a little bit more about the dispatch center, how the renovation is going, and if we have a date for completion?
I can probably get Ricardo Matias up here to give us a date on that, but it is going well. We're through phase 1 into phase 2. We've added a bunch of dispatch stations. This is a change order that's on the agenda now currently for our consultant. We went from part-time inspection and oversight to full-time inspection and oversight with this, and then also IDA happened during this whole process, and there was a bunch of mitigation stuff we had to do, some new surveys for FEMA. We had to raise the generator, we had to raise the electric panels. So any work we did that was related to IDA, we are submitting to FEMA for their reimbursement, and that's all part of what we have on here. As far as a date when it's complete, we should be complete through the into the first quarter of next year, of 23.
Thank you.
But it is going well. Now it is, at least.
Okay. I see no other questions. Could you just,
Sure.
for the benefit, of course, number 1, the specific improvements to Front Street?
So that is for a 5 different intersections
Yes.
along Front Street in Plainfield. So it's East Front Street, and those are all intersection projects. So we do traffic signals, everything else on Roosevelt, Richmond, Norwood, and Watchung Avenue on East Front.
Okay. And the improvements you said are?
Our traffic signals,
Right,
and the
okay.
whole intersection will be improved as far as walks and everything else like that.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Next up, we have our Department of Finance, B.B. Taylor. Okay.
Good evening, Chair Williams and members of the Board of County Commissioners. The Department of Finance has 10 resolutions this evening for your consideration, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I see no questions. Thank you so much, Director Taylor. And now, Department of Human Services. It appears that we have Assistant Director Karen Dinsmore stepping in for Director Anderson. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, Chair, members of the Board. The Department of Human Services has 11 resolutions for your consideration, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Could you just give us a little bit of more background on number 1?
Yes.
Which is Cornerstone.
This is authorizing the appropriation for next year for the lease for Cornerstone Behavioral Health Hospital at Runnels location. The lease expires in 2024. Annually, we exercise this option, and it reflects a 2% increase.
Okay. Thank you. I see no other questions. Thank you so much. Okay. Next up, we have Director Zuber from Parks and Recreation.
Good evening, Chair and
Good evening.
Commissioners. Department of Parks has 5 on tonight's agenda, and I'll try to answer any questions you have.
I see no questioners. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next up, Director of Public Safety, Andy Moran.
Good evening, Chair, members of the Board. Department of Public Safety has 2 resolutions on for your consideration. I'll try and answer any questions you may have.
I see no questions, but if you could just add to what was said about the dispatch center, if there's any, if you want to give us some additional updates.
Certainly, it's a project that we're very excited about. The dispatch staff is equally excited to move into a newly refurbished area of our building. We have public safety agencies that we've been talking to that we just don't have the space to accommodate right now. Just last week, we transitioned the Roselle Police Department over for full dispatch. So for the borough of Roselle, we're doing police, fire, EMS, and answering their 911 calls. So we've suffered from some supply chain issues.
Okay.
Took over a year to get our generator delivered, and we're still waiting for electrical components that haven't been delivered yet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. One more check. Thank you so much.
Madam
yes,
Chair?
Commissioner Baker.
Where were we at now?
Public safety.
I just wanted to ask you a question, since you were talking about expending a community-oriented policing services grant. Could you tell us if you know, how many such community-based or COPS programs there are throughout Union County?
Actually, this, Commissioner, this grant is a technology grant.
Yeah.
It's through COPS, and it's going to allow us to build out our public safety radio system with a 4th site in the western portion of the county where we have coverage issues. But this has been a project that has been received by our municipal public safety partners and really embraced. We provide every public safety agency in Union County, except for 2 municipalities, operate on 1 county frequency, which increases interoperability and allows us to work together and communicate clearly. So.
Okay. Okay, well, wrong question. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Absolutely. Okay. No other questions? Thank you, Director Moran.
Thank you.
Office of County Council.
Thank you, Chair, members of the board. Good evening. County Council has 1 resolution this evening. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I see no questions.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. All the commissioner-sponsored laudatory and condolence resolutions are from the entire board. And at this time, I would just ask, are there any comments from the board on any of these commissioner-sponsored resolutions? Okay, I see no comments. So may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Mirabella and seconded by Commissioner Kowalski. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, this meeting's now adjourned.